Athens for Real. Join Alexia and Vrazzy for the next half hour and get real. On air, 104.4 FM. Oh, yeah!
Good morning and welcome to Athens for Real. I'm Alexia Vrazzy and I'm very happy to be in the studio today with Franciscos Carellas. Good morning.
Good morning.
I won't say on this bright sunny morning because the weather's a little bit odd today, but we'll bring some sunshine through our conversation. We're going to be talking about Eumelia, Franciscos' amazing project. It's an agrotourism farm and accommodation. You'll be telling us all about it. So let's start talking about Eumelia. You created a space which is, well, very spacious actually, very open, very peaceful and completely ecological. This is, let's say, a trend that's developed in Greece over the last few years. It was unheard of to follow the sort of farming methods and concepts even that you have developed in Eumelia.
Yeah.
Let's just start also by saying that Eumelia is located in the Peloponnese,
Yes.
in Laconia. And you found a very out-of-the-way space, or actually it's belonged to your family.
It belonged to my family since 1880.
Okay, so I won't talk anymore. Tell me first of all about how the idea developed.
The idea developed. I went down to the area. We didn't have any idea, my family, that what the place looked like. We had the land in our family, but it was never divided between the different family members. And I went with my mother's cousin to see the area, and something clicked. You know, I said, okay, there's a piece of land, with olive trees in the middle of Laconia. Something clicked, something woke up, and the original thought was to do an organic farm.
So you went directly to that. You didn't think, I might come and build a house here for myself, or just, to have an extra place to holiday in.
No,
you
no.
immediately went to the organic farm idea.
Yeah. I had an experience the past 8 years with homeopathy, and I have moved away from chemicals, let's say, chemical uses. So it woke up something very intense in me, and I wanted to continue in that with working with the earth and the plants.
And what was your background? Was it a background that could help you along that project, or what did you start from scratch and start learning everything?
I studied politics, international relations. I knew nothing about trees except looking at them. But I guess studying international relations and working, it wasn't concentrating. It was a wide spectrum of things that I studied or learned. So this, I guess, helped me keep an open mind about something new, which was what Eumelia and the project was. Totally new, totally different.
So you developed the idea, you knew that it was something you really wanted to do,
Yes.
and from there on, how did you actually reach the point of making it happen, of materializing?
A lot of discussions, a lot of research. I was always a person that throughout my life I wanted to learn about other sectors. So even though I concentrated on on international relations and politics and things like that, I was always interested in the environment, human rights, alternative medicine, and all. Eumelia gave me the opportunity to bring all this out.
So when you started your research and your discussions, as you mentioned, how did you find the people? And were the people based in Greece mainly? Did you discover a whole other world?
Definitely discovered a whole another world. It was difficult. The technology is not here yet. When I was looking at geothermal heating, it was very difficult to find people to discuss something like that and to actually get the right information, because it was like a new El Dorado, maybe. It was even before the El Dorado, of the solar power and of the geothermal that's happening right now. So it was quite difficult. I was lucky. I had at certain points people that showed up and were able to give me some insight and some ideas, and I was able to develop them and create a multilateral approach, as we say in Greek, synthetiki, μια σύνθεση.
So how would you describe what Eumelia has become today?
it's difficult for me to describe it with one word. You know, a lot of my friends say agrotourism, or people call and say it's agrotourism, but it's a lot more than that. It's an holistic approach. You know, we have the organic farm, our olive trees. We have the hotel that we've built, the little cottages that people can stay, which is built with natural material, using environmental technology, geothermal, recycled water. We do seminars on different topics. So all this is an approach, a multilateral approach, an holistic approach that gives a way for me to express all these things that we're.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty, like to the details of all the things you mentioned now. How have you created this farm from because it's 100% ecological. As you mentioned, you've developed a homeopathic approach. Also, you've used biodynamic farming. For listeners who don't know what these things are, can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yes, biodynamic is considered, if you do research, probably the first. I don't want to call it a group, but thinking process that spoke about environmental issues in the 1920s. It was a German or an Austrian who gave a series of seminars, and out of this came the biodynamic movement, which is you take, like in homeopathy, or if people know, you energize things, and you give it, you basically don't use any of the original material, but you give, the idea is left. So you spray the trees, and you give it some messages. You try to connect with them through these messages, and to tell them to be strong, there's a heat wave, you can withstand it. And so it builds a connection between the person and the trees, and also it takes into account all the outside factors, the moonrise, during moonrise there's always, in different stages, there might be more liquids in the bark. So there, you shouldn't go and prune the trees, because there's more intense. So you want when the liquids are lower, so it doesn't dry up. So there's a lot of things that are taken into account in this approach.
It's very metaphysical, basically.
It's also a spirit.
Yeah. And what about geothermal? You've mentioned this word several times. What is that exactly? How does it work?
How does it work? The way it works is it's a power. It's an unlimited power that exists within Earth. That's why the word geo, and the thermal. It produces certain energy that you use a machine called a heat exchanger, and you're able to take this energy and heat your house or cool it.
Where does the energy come from?
The energy comes from the stable temperature of the Earth underneath. There's several ways that you can power, let's say, the heat exchanger or the whole process. One is by making a closed circuit of plastic pipes underneath about a meter and a half of the Earth, and there's a stable temperature there that you use up, and with the heat exchanger you can drill. If you don't have space, you can drill directly and make again a closed circuit, and you can go to 50 to 100 meters and make this closed circuit, which will power again. If you have water from a well already, you can use the water, which has a stable temperature. And also for big companies can use areas where there is steam coming out of. So that's.
So this is basically your heating and your cooling.
And your cooling, yes, and your cooling, and very important for people who are considering is insulation. If you do a very good job insulating your house or the structure that you're building, you can minimize cost, expenditure,